Last 3 days have gone by rather quickly. Not surprised in the slightest, since I had lost all sense of time a while ago. I'm trying to ignore the massive headache that makes my skull feel like it's shrinking as it crushes my brain. I've been waiting and staring at the wall for the past couple of minutes, gazing upon its yellow-stained brilliance. Although I can't say that these past 3 days have been anything more productive or eventful. Typical rock ring session here, and trolling some Kenyan gum enthusiast forums there. Not to mention my attempts at finding a new Adderall hookup haven't been exactly successful. Turns out that bitchy cashier at my usual spot notified the manager and told all the other pharmacies in the area not to serve me. Just my fucking luck. For the past couple of days, I've had to rely solely on shitty dollar store coffee to keep me awake. Even then, it hasn't exactly helped. I passed out at 2 a.m. in my desk chair watching a Saturnia marathon. The dreams I had last night were... let's just leave it at that. Despite all the hell I've been through the past couple months, my mood has improved slightly over the past few days since my reunion with Rosa and Stella. Never was I expecting to ever run into them again, nor would I expect that they'd want anything to do with me. I was so convinced that they would just abandon me once Rosa drove me home after having me stay the night, but they've been chatting with me every day, both of them. Rosa and I have been mainly talking about what's been happening at Volcano High since the shooting. Apparently, Principal Spears resigned about 2 weeks after the incident, along with Mr. Fernsworth and Mr. Suki. That can't have been easy on their conscience, knowing that the students that under your care died. The pupils that you guided through this daily slog, gone forever. However, she seemed to dominate most of the conversation during our text messages, frequently inquiring about my well-being after I accidentally confessed to being a schizo.
Have they been bothering you today, Anon? And how has your sleep been?
Part of me feels like I'm talking with my mother rather than my friend, although Rosa's done more for me in the past week than my parents have the last 6 months. Surprisingly enough, my conversations with Stella over text have been far more engaging. The girl I met last Sunday who ran away at the sight of me or broke down in panic due to my freakout was nowhere to be found during those texts. Stella was a lot more outgoing, asking about any anime I've been checking out while telling me about all the shows she's seen. Surprisingly, her taste has improved, if only slightly. Turns out she even plays video games too. I guess anime and tarot readings can get boring after a while too, although that's where our tastes seem to diverge. She plays typical weeb trash like God Collision, Last Wish 14 Online, and of course, fucking Parasorna. Well, I can't say I'm surprised, honestly. Additionally, she's told me that she's trying to become a better artist by practicing in her free time. She even sent me photos of her art. Knowing her, I was expecting some basic Fujo shit, but the images I got were actually pretty well done. It really just goes to show how little I know about Stella until now. How little I knew about either of them. They all seem to be the same kind of idea. Close-ups of anime characters. Some were surrounded by flowers. One of them was obscured by bathing in the stars. However, the one that stood out to me was her drawing of a particularly long, white-haired human woman clutching her chest in a sea of stars. Her eyes closed shut, tears straining her cheeks, and yet the expression painted across her face showed peace rather than sadness. Well, I'm not going to pretend that I knew the first thing about art. I can tell she poured a lot of herself into these drawings. Despair, sorrow, fear, and yet a hope. While her art is clearly influenced by the anime she watches, paired with the typical occultist art found on tarot cards, many of her drawings seem to be driven by her own emotions, the trauma she endured. Although nothing is confirmed, Stella didn't explain the meanings of these pieces when she sent them to me. She only asked for feedback, and seeing how sensitive she's been, when I saw her a couple days ago, I didn't feel comfortable asking. Maybe I'll ask her today. Rosa did say she wanted to take us to dinner today. It was originally going to be lunch, but I guess something came up during Garden Club meetup, so I had to delay it a little bit. But still, it's been nice to see him again. For the longest time, I was prepared to spend my life as a hermit. But since those two came back in my life, I felt something inside me that I haven't felt for a long time. I felt alive. What the fuck? What the fuck? This sudden rhythmic banging emerges from the door, causing me to jump slightly. Thankfully, I'm on my bed. I probably would have bumped against my desk if I was in my chair. And I don't want to repeat the cigarette incident. My legs practically being held together by a shitload of gauze bandage, so I really need to be careful. Shuffling myself out of the worn mattress and taking hold of my crutches, I wobble myself over to the front door. For the first time in a while, I did a little bit of cleaning. My apartment still looks like shit, but at least I won't be tripping over all the garbage anymore. Most of the mess is now regulated to my dresser and countertop. Quietly leaning against the door, I clutch the knife in my pocket as I take a peek through the peephole. I can only make out a blur of white obscuring the run-down hallway. Glancing closely, I make out feathers? No, is this real? Is she in my head? How is she able to knock on the door? Is that her parents? Didn't her mother have white feathers too? If Trish was able to find me, then they would be able as well. Fuck.
Vamos. O que estás haciendo aqui?
Wait, Rosa? I rub my eyes with my free hand instinctually and gaze back into the peephole and see a rather expectant-looking iggiesaurus who appeared to be holding something behind her back.
Anon? Are you home?
Rosa calls out through the door. Wait, how the hell did she even find my room number? She's only ever dropped me off in front of the entrance. Taking my weight off the door, I unlock the door and manage to open it with my free hand. Leaning back against the door for support, I finally greet my reunited friend.
Hello, Anon. It's good to see you again.
Her face quickly lights up with a smile. Wait, that was today? Fuck me, I've really lost all sense of time. But who am I to say no to a meal?
Ready to get some dinner?
Ready as I'll ever be, I quip. Eliciting a chuckle from Rosa. Cheerfully explains as she moves her arm, revealing a leg brace in her arm.
My mother was able to get you a new leg brace to replace the one that was broken.
For me? I don't know what to say. She lets out a chuckle with a smile.
You can thank me by coming with us for a good time.
I can't help but feel a smile form on my own lips as well. The movement has become so foreign over the past few months that I've forgotten what it feels like. Nobody's been this kind to me in a long time. Thank you, Rosa. This means a lot to me. I'm about to say more, but it occurs to me that something is missing. Where is Stella?
Oh, Stella's just over by the entrance to the stairs waiting for us.
Rosa replies by mumbling before motioning down the hallway. Wait, why didn't she come with Rosa? It's not like we haven't been talking for the past couple of days.
You're mumbling again, Anon.
She reminds me while walking at a slow pace so my crippled ass doesn't get left behind.
No te preocupes. She's happy to see you. You know how she is right now.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. I agree. I suppose it makes sense. Given her shy nature, it makes sense that she'd have an easier time conversing over text rather than in person, especially with everything that's happened to her. As we approach the elevators, my eyes begin to spot a certain lime-colored sago on the ground, currently engrossed by her phone with her headphones plugged in, not paying mind to her two companions approaching her side. She actually seems rather calm. You know, for somebody by herself in the city's shittiest apartment complex. Stella? My words echo through the hall as a preoccupied Stella ignores my words and continues to watch whatever's on her phone. Rosa quite literally takes a step further and kneels down, placing her hand on Stella's shoulder.
Stella, it's...
Ah! Stella cried out, and she recoiled from Rosa almost instinctually and remained seated on the ground, hyperventilating. Her reaction almost caused me to land my own ass. It's hard enough to keep in balance on crutches.
Hey, está bien.
Rosa backs up while attempting to comfort Stella in a soothing voice.
Look, Anon's here. Now we're ready to go.
Stella's breathing slowed down and looked past Rosa. The distressed expression painted across her face quickly warmed up as soon as she recognized me.
Hey, Anon. It's good to see you again.
You too, Stella. There's more I can say than just that. Think, Anon, think! So, how's that Viking anime you were telling me about the other day? I rather pathetically answer. I can feel her tension ease at that question as she lifts herself off the ground. The slight smile on her face becomes more apparent.
Oh, I finished already? It was such a good show. You should watch it.
Stella beams with her answer. Probably the most enthusiastic I've seen her yet.
Okay, Ninos. We should probably get going and continue this conversation in the car. See?
Rosa interjects, clearly eager to get to the restaurant. I wonder what she had in mind anyway. About 15 minutes passed since we left Skin Row. The drive felt nice. The rhythm stayed the same as the past 2 times, with Rosa in the driver's seat, Stella in the passenger seat, and I have the back seat all to myself. Granted, I always preferred the back seat, especially when I went on log drives with my parents when I was younger. However, back then I didn't have to awkwardly position my mangled leg to avoid hurting it. I take notice of said leg. Now I equipped the leg brace where it was broken. It definitely makes it more comfortable and manageable. Trying to move around with a broken leg and no way to hold it in place was difficult, to say the least. However, the lively conversations I had with Rose and Stella helped me forget the pain I was in more ways than one. Learning about what these two have been up to since graduating was actually quite refreshing to hear. Stella was telling us how they started a new art piece she was working on after being inspired by some anime, of course. Rose was telling me about spiritual placement, and most likely the source of a lot of her stress.
Mierda. I'll tell you, Principal Robert is going to be the death of me. It's always something isn't good enough. Meetings should be handled this way. You can make that change.
The ankylosaur let out an exhausted sigh.
I miss Principal Spears. He may be strict, but at least he was fair.
Damn, this new principal sounds like a real hard-ass. Spears may have been an exception to the rule, but if you aren't a tyrannical dickbag, are you even a school principal? Passenger seat's window. Stella gazes at her surroundings before turning to the driver. Rosa? Where did he say we're gonna eat again? I was curious about that myself. Where did she want to take us? I don't recall her saying anything other than the fact that she wanted to take us out to dinner.
Huh. It's this lovely little Italian place over in Little Trudon.
My heart sinks ever so slightly with those words. She doesn't mean...
Remember that concert we went to last year?
No. Fuck! Out of all the places we could have gotten dinner at, why does it have to be that place? Oh, nice. Stella replies to Rose with a feigned enthusiasm. It isn't hard to tell that she isn't the most enthusiastic about that either. As Rose's car approaches our destination, the large neon sign begins to reflect the color across the windshield. Dino-Moes. Rosa put the car in park, surprisingly far away from the building. A quick glance in front of us shows that most of the nearby parking spots have already been occupied by different cars.
Hey, it's really busy tonight, huh?
Rosa sighs as she twists the keys in the car's ignition, cutting off its power.
Hopefully, the wait to get in isn't too long.
Yeah, no kidding. Or probably with a hint of nonchalance, trying to hide the guilt and shame bubbling inside of me. My attention is directed towards the stammering Stego in the driver's seat. Visibly uncomfortable, her eyes pointed at the dashboard. Rosa takes note of this and places her hand on her shoulder.
Hey. It's okay, Stella. I'm sure it won't be too bad in there. Plus you got Anon and I, see?
Yes, you're right. Why did she?
Do you need any help with the car door, Anon?
Rosa asked me, snapping me out of my own thoughts. Fuck, that caught me off guard. I should be okay. I shrug as I attempt to open the door with my right and carefully move my non-crippled leg out of the car onto the ground. It's awkward, but I catch on.
Bueno, let's go have some dinner now, shall we?
The three of us proceed to make our way to the entrance of Dino-Moes, Rosa trying to match my slow pace, seemingly concerned about my ability to walk. Stella, on the other hand, has been walking more slowly than either of us. Turn my head to see her trailing behind, hood over her head and both her hands in her pocket. She's clearly not looking forward to this for whatever reason. Can't say I blame her. An uneasy feeling of dread and regret grows larger the closer we get to the restaurant. Tight feeling gripping my chest like a vice as I drag my feet towards the building. The restaurant was owned by Feng's uncle, who let us use the place as the band's first venue. The restaurant where we had our first date, where I got to see the girl behind that angry mask. I was going to fuck it up and force that mask back on her.
Anon? Are you okay?
Rosa must have heard me mumbling. Fuck, how much did she hear? Yeah, I'm fine, sorry. Just thinking about some stuff I'm dealing with at home. I tried to deflect, however, Rosa doesn't seem to completely buy my answer.
Okay, but remember, we're always here for you if you need to talk.
She consoles me with a sympathetic glance. Crisis averted. The three of us finally make our way inside and enter the restaurant. And I could probably count the number of tables that are empty on my hand. The eyes wander to the table where Feng and I sat. The table occupied by a disinterested family of four. The emotions hit me all at once like a flood. Regret, sorrow, longing. I'm too distracted by my own pity party to acknowledge the overwhelming scent of cheese and tomato sauce. Okay, I have to admit that actually smells pretty good. Far better than the microwavable cardboard that passes for pizza that I've been partially living off of.
Hello, welcome to the historic Dino-Moes. Table for 3 tonight.
A human woman at the front desk greets us with a rather monotone voice. Surprised to see another human in this part of town. Rosa replies with a nod.
See, just us three.
Right this way.
The waitress lazily grabs a stack of menus and beckons us to follow her as we traverse the sea of tables, with Rosa taking the lead and Stella trailing behind me. That glances from some of the patrons of the restaurant as I pass their tables. Their expressions mainly ranging from curiosity and confusion. I mean, I'm used to this shit by now. It's not like they've never seen a human before. After all, who's the one that got their table? The human woman directs us towards the center of the establishment. Facing my friends and I, she abruptly stops.
This table okay with you guys?
The waitress asks as she drops the menus on the table. I turn my head to see Stella struggling to speak up. Her hood is still draped over her head while avoiding eye contact with anybody.
Excelente. Gracias.
Rosa's affirmation cuts off Stella's protest, and we all take a seat at the table in front of us. Oh, Stella does with obvious reluctance. Stella and I sit next to each other, with Rosa sitting across from us at the table. The waitress turns to leave, but snaps back towards us, looking like she almost forgot the first rule of hospitality.
Oh, can I get you all anything to drink?
Huh. I'll just have a lemonade, por favor.
Funny, I always did see her as a lemonade type of girl.
And how about you?
The waitress asked me impatiently. What? I stammer out loud after briefly zoning out. I'll have a Coca-Cola, please. No ice. Thank God, I'm eager to have a caffeinated beverage that doesn't taste like mold for once. And I'll have a strawberry milkshake, please. Stella meekly asks our server, causing her to give the shy steak a rather sardonic look.
Does this look like the type of place that would serve milkshakes?
I get that work in customer service must be painful, but does she really need to be this much of a... All she asked for was a milkshake.
It's okay.
Rosa tries to reassure Stella before turning to our server.
Could we just get her something like a strawberry soda? Surely you have those in the menu.
Yeah, we might have something like that.
The waitress responds rather gruffly as she writes down our order and leaves without saying goodbye. 10 out of 10 service, huh?
No kidding. She didn't need to be that much of a puta.
Rosa replies to my mumbling with a furrowed brow, as she relaxes in her seat. It's okay, guys. I'm fine with the strawberry soda. Stella replied gingerly as she takes off her hood. The Stego's affirmation caused a soft smile to form on Rosa's lips as she glanced our way. However, anything she said is drowned out by the voices throughout the restaurant.
Mr. Jefferson needs to get that stick out of his ass. His deadlines make no sense.
We'll see, Jessica. If we have time to stop on the way home, we can check it out.
Oh, I think they gave me the herbivore sausage by mistake.
The surrounding voices drown out my own thoughts, almost to an overwhelming amount.
I mean, I think she's cute, but I'm just not sure if it's the right time to ask her out, you know?
For the last time, I don't care about the new Claws of Duty game. Literally, all of them are the same.
You never truly cared about me, Anon, did you?
Wait, what?
What was I to you? A joke? A toy? Another project to fix?
Wait, where is she? I gaze around the room. I want to gaze around the room, but I found myself without the energy to do so.
Tell me, is the only reason you pretended to care about me
Stop it.
so you could get into my pants the last night we had together?
Please.
Before you killed me?
No.
Anna?
The nearby voice pulls me out of my stupor, and I see both Stella and Rosa looking at me expectantly. Huh? Sorry, what did you guys say? I asked the two.
Are you okay, Anna?
Rosa asked with a degree of concern.
We asked. What would you like to order?
Oh right, dinner. Damn. I haven't eaten that good in God knows how long. I've forgotten what the taste of actual pizza is. I've missed the rich, cheesy heaven. Rosa sat across from me, enjoying her chicken Alfredo. Well, herbivore chicken Alfredo, which sounds a hell of a lot less appetizing. Stella, on the other hand, had skipped straight to dessert and ordered herself a tiramisu, which she's barely touched, although she's been quiet all evening. I think coming to a crowded restaurant might not have been the best decision for her. We all spend dinner catching up with each other. However, it is mainly Rosa and I speaking. Stella remained relatively silent.
So, Anna, I've been meaning to ask you.
Rosa directs her attention towards me as she twirls the pasta with her fork.
Was there anybody you kept in touch with after,
Well, considering how much I thought everybody I was close with was either dead or hated my guts, keeping in touch didn't seem like a big priority. Not really. Rosa and Stella are pretty much the only friends I've had in the past 4 months or so. Aside from you two, I can't say that I have. I answer truthfully as I set my hands up and I slump on the table. The other friends I made, well... My response causes Rosa's expression to sour, followed by a look of slight confusion.
But what about Trish and Reed? Didn't you used to spend time with them?
Rosa inquired as she set her fork down and she reached for lemonade. Those two. It isn't hard to imagine how they feel about me. I can't say I blame them. Their best friend is dead because of me. I'd be surprised if they didn't want my head on a stick. Speaking of, I'm about 9% sure it was Trish who tried to make that happen the other day. We weren't on the best of terms, Rosa. We got in a bit of an argument at prom. I sigh as the painful memories return to me. And the things Trish screamed at me when, I'm not sure they want anything to do with me. Rosa looks down slightly, a sympathetic frown growing on her face. Clearly upset by the revolution I just dropped. Plus, there's that whole shit with Trish sabotaging the projector during their assembly, I add.
I know it's hard, but please don't swear at the table, and...
Rosa said with a stern glance before being cut off by an unexpected voice. They were just mad you had better taste in waifus than them. What? Both Rosa and I look at each other, surprised look on her face before turning to Stella, who is supporting an uncharacteristically smug look on her face as she picks off a piece of her tiramisu. Okay, focusing on myself is depressing enough as it is. Let's change the subject. How about you guys? Anyone you kept in touch with from school? I asked them both, trying to diffuse the awkwardness. Stella's expression soured at the question, as her face cringed slightly. No, I asked Co.Caine on. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring it up if it was a attempt to soothe the sadness Dago. Yeah, it's okay, but no. Rosa clears her throat as she's about to answer.
I did keep in touch with a few amigos of mine, but I'm afraid it's nobody that you knew when you were in school.
I guess that makes sense. Even when I did become acquainted with Rosa and Stella, I never really got to learn much about them. I wonder if she kept in touch with... What was I thinking about? As my mind struggles to remember my current train of thought, the voices in the restaurant become increasingly loud. All the monotonous and mundane conversations about their lives, school, work, new movies, until I hear more voices that don't sound like they're really part of the restaurant's ambiance.
What's wrong, Anon? Can't get your fix? Starting to get shaky. Fucking junkie.
These voices become alarmingly familiar, not sounding like they belong to one singular voice, but three different voices overlapping with each other.
They're gonna ditch you too. It's only a matter of time. Your parents didn't want you. Your friends didn't want you. I didn't want you.
You'll always be nothing but a loser. A waste of space.
I can't take this anymore. Shuffling out of the table, I interrupt Stella and Rosa's conversation to excuse myself. The voices become so loud. I don't even know if the words came out of my mouth. I get up from the table to go to the bathroom. Not before catching the worried expressions of both of my friends. My head feels like it's wobbling back and forth as I struggle to maintain my balance as I pass by several diners on tables. I can make out the signs to the bathroom and the corner of the restaurant. I quickly waddle towards the men's room and push the door open. Without a second thought, I make my way towards the sink. Some cold water should knock the sense into me. Turning on the faucet with one hand while also using it to support myself, I grab a handful of water and splash it on my face. Fuck. I wasn't expecting it to be that cold. Regardless, the ice-cold water splashing into my face helps me calm down. No, it doesn't. Fuck, was that one guy... What did that one guy in the Australian blacksmithing forum say? Inhale, count to 4, exhale, and count to 4. Taking hold of my right crutch with my free hand, I take a deep breath. 1, 2... Before I can make it through the next two numbers, my eyes notice a figure behind me which causes my heart to drop. A blur of ashed and black, wings that can only be described as angelic, and a set of amber eyes that shine brighter than any diamond. Fang. No, please, not now. Contrasting the hateful glare that shot me within my dreams a couple nights ago, this stare feels cold as ice, while at the same time her facial expression tells a different story. Pain, anguish, sorrow, frustration. Unable to move, I can only stare at the simulacrum in the mirror. My eyes growing heavier and heavier. I eventually gave in and closed my eyes as the tears began to flow. Sorry, Fang. The light returns to my eyes when I open them back up. However, all I see in the mirror is my own reflection. Tears staining my face. After expressing my regret to a figment of my imagination, I need some fresh air. Grabbing hold of my left crutch, I turn around and hobble out the door, but not before another figure stops me dead in my tracks. A figure that hasn't haunted me before, but one I'm all too familiar with. A violet triceratops girl, of short stature, wearing a yellow hoodie and red boots. Trish. She takes notice of me, mirroring my own shocked expression. What the hell is she doing here? She didn't die? Why the fuck is this happening? She's not real, Anon. It's just your mind playing tricks on you. Just get yourself outside and get some air. Moving as quickly, I pass by the shade of my former nemesis, but not before catching a glimpse of her surprise, turning to rage as she mutters to herself.
Fucking bastard.
She's not real, Anon. She's not real. Exiting the corridor, My eyes spot the table I was sitting at with my two companions, only to make out Stella's face since Rosa's back is turned to me. Stella sporting that look of discomfort, not unlike my own, but I can't let them see me like this. Carefully navigating through the restaurant, do everything I can to avoid being seen by the two. I just need to get out of here for a second. Same as before, I get stares and the funny looks from most of the tables I pass by, judging me, inspecting me, pitying me. Passing by all the tables, I walk out the front door and hit the automated door button with my elbow. I don't even wait for the door to open all the way. I walk straight out the entrance as the cool wind blasts my face. The sensation intensified from the cool water I splashed in my face moments ago. A group of doves fly out from above the sign and disperse into the night sky. I must have startled them by accident. I've taken a deep breath and gaze at my surroundings. The street lights illuminate the streets with the absence of the sun. Taking notice at the beach next to the restaurant, I take a seat and attempt to collect my thoughts. A sense of relief washes over me as I take the pressure off my leg. Or maybe that's just from getting away from the crowded restaurants. Fuck, these hallucinations have been getting worse and worse. And if I'm not hearing random noises or seeing ghosts of everyone I've hurt, I'm doing these fucking nightmares almost every night to the point where it's unbearable. I'd imagine I would have grown desensitized to this by now, considering all the shooters I've played and gore I've seen online, but to see it happen before my own eyes and have it played in my mind on repeat day after day, it's torture. The only comfort I can find is in a fistful of pills or drugging myself with enough caffeine to make me stay awake for days. Every nightmare, every hallucination reminded me more and more just how badly I fucked up, how much I failed Fang. "Are you okay, Anon?" A gentle yet familiar face calls out. Turn my head to face the source of the voice. I see Stella standing to my right, hands behind her back with a worried expression. Not really, but I'll survive. I sigh, shifting myself on the bench to make room for her. Stella takes my movement as an invitation to sit down, her concerned expression unchanged. "Are you sure? You went to the bathroom in quite a hurry, and I was worried that something was wrong." Stella continues to question me. However, I notice that this is the least anxious I've seen her yet, at least in person. I may have told Rosa what's wrong with me, but I don't want to have to spill my spaghetti just yet with Stella. Yeah, I just need some fresh air. Try to shrug off her concerns. How about you? What brings you out here? My question seemingly catches her off guard. It's clear her main focus is checking up on me for some reason. "I also need to step away for a second," she explains with hesitation. "The restaurant was just too crowded and loud, and it was just all too much." I'm about to speak, but it looks like she has more to say, her brow furrowing and exasperation growing. I told Rosa that I was worried that it would be too busy tonight, and she just said, 'Oh, it'll be fine, don't worry.'" Her voice is growing with frustration as she rants about her friend's decision. I'm tempted to open my mouth and try to offer what little comfort I can, but it hits me. She's clearly been holding in these frustrations for some time. It may be better just to let her vent. After all, there's a time to speak and a time to listen. I love Rosa like a sister, and I know how much she cares about me, but I just wish for once she would listen to me. The green stego lets out a annoyed huff. "I just want to go to this really cool boba place by the mall, but she brushed it off like it was nothing." Now that I think about it, she definitely seems like she's been a little on edge all evening. I just assumed that it was her being shy as usual, but I didn't think there was much more to it. Is Rosa really being that pushy with Stella? I feel like Rosa doesn't listen to what I truly have to say. Just what she would want me to say. The stego slumps into the bench as she continues to vent her frustrations. Do I say something yet? But before I can talk or think of how to respond, the look on Stella's face becomes surprised and quickly turns to shame. "Oh no, I said too much, didn't I? I'm sorry, Rosa's been nothing but nice to me. And I must sound like such an ungrateful friend to be saying all of that." I don't really know what to make of the situation between these two. I don't want to find myself in the middle of it, honestly. Although, with the way Stella's looking at me expectantly as if she's looking to find some solace in my assurance, from what she said, it doesn't seem like Stella has any ill will towards Rosa other than annoyance. Nah, I get it. You feel like she doesn't listen to what you have to say, and that's pretty understandable. I'd be frustrated too in that situation. I reassure the remorseful stego, her expression softening with my words. Have you thought about talking with her about it? About how you feel? Her face goes white as a sheet. Fuck, did I say something wrong? I can't. It would be, I don't want to make her upset. Is what I'm trying to say. She's been the only friends I have ever since. Stella abruptly cuts herself off with an expression that looks like she's been stabbed in the gut. She's pretty much one of my only friends, aside from you. Glad to know I'm not alone there. But hey, I wanted to ask. Shit, she doesn't know, does she? Fuck, did Rosa tell her? If you want to come with me to that boba shop by the mall tomorrow? Oh! Wait. Is she asking me out? It's okay if you don't want to go, Anon. I'm sorry. Stella turns away, seemingly dejected from my lack of response. Unless I was mumbling, again like a retard. Damn, I didn't mean it like that. It just caught me off guard. Why would anybody want to spend time with me? Alone, no less. Wait, Stella! I call out as I rise from the bench, my under making it difficult to do so. My words cause her to turn back to me, her eyes widen slightly. Sorry, it's just I'm dealing with a lot of shit right now. That's... Fuck, Anon, you can do better than that. But what I'm saying is that I would love to check that place out with you. I stammer out, hoping I can recover from this. Stella's face completely does a 180, as she looks the absolute happiest I've seen her since we were both in high school. Really? Thank you, Anon. I'm so happy you want to come too. Stella chirps with glee that's reminiscent of her old personality. Before I can open my mouth, I'm suddenly hit with a blast of pressure. My mind is taking a second to register Stella pulling me into a rather tight hug. Shocked by this reaction, all I can do is simply wrap my own arms around her awkwardly. Oh! Stella snaps back into reality, pulling away from me. We should probably head back inside. Rosa's probably worried about us by now. She's right. Especially considering how I left the table. I do feel kind of bad leaving her all alone there. Hopefully she's not too pissed. Oh, I'm sure she'll understand. Stella responds to my inner thoughts as she rises from the bench, offering her hand towards me. I may be a cripple, but I'm not that crippled. Still, I reach for a hand as she helps me up from the bench. Yeah, if it's okay with you, let's probably not tell Rosa the part about our plans tomorrow. Stella says with a slight whisper as we both walk back into the restaurant. Probably for the best, I reply. Part of me is surprised that Stella wants to hang out with a weird schizo like me, or why she hugged me at all like that. I wonder, did she ask me on a date?
A couple minutes earlier, leaning against the wall, I try to collect my thoughts, or what's left of them as I wait for my boss. Or if I could even hear my own thoughts. The goddamn chatter in this place makes it impossible to do so. Seriously, what the fuck's taking that fossil so long? The way he talked to me on the phone made it sound like he was urgent. But considering how he's nowhere in sight, makes it feel like he's just wasting my time. Not to mention my added concerns about leaving Reed at the apartment alone while he's high as a kite. I really hope that Moe has for me is worth it. Amidst the chaos of the restaurant, the first thing that coherently comes to my mind is my family. 3 sisters and 2 brothers. All alone at home. Since Mom is doing God knows what these days. So this day, I still hate myself for everything that went down that day. Get the fuck out. Don't ever come back here, bitch-ass Trigger. I don't blame them for that one moment. They have every right to hate me after what I did. Lord knows I do. Since Moe's probably not gonna pull the thumb out of his ass and come meet me, I'm gonna go to the bathroom and freshen up a bit while I wait. Takes 2 stops towards the restroom before the door to the men's room swings open. And emerge from the door anxiously is... Wait, Anon? Ugly, bald human, puke green clothes, a crutch under each shoulder, and a plastic leg brace on his left leg. It's definitely him. I can only stare in disbelief, unable to move. My feet have been bolted to the ground and my arms tied down with cinder blocks. How the fuck is he still moving? Could be in a coma after what I did to him. Just the sight of him still moving, alive, breathing, fills me with a feeling that could only be described as raw and primal, pure, unfiltered rage. He wobbles past me as if I didn't exist, but I managed to catch him mumbling something on his way.
She's not real enough. Just your mind playing tricks on it.
Fang did say that he mumbled shit out loud like a dumbass. Just thinking Fang and Anon in the same sentence infuriates me. Fucking bastard. I mutter under my breath. I pause for a brief moment as I look out to the hallway to see him waddling throughout the restaurant. A thought occurs to me. I could kill him right now. Wait for him out to go outside. Wait till he's all alone. And finally put that bastard in the ground. Fuck it. I've waited long enough. Before I'm able to follow him, someone takes a hold of my hand, stopping me in my tracks. I turn to see a rather imposing Triceratops man in uniform gripping me by the hand tightly,
Mo's ready to see you now.
letting go as he finishes his sentence. I turn back to the seated area to see Anon nowhere to in sight. It's completely gone. God fucking damn it! Wasn't for this fucking trigger, I would have been able to put this ape down once and for all. If it weren't for Moe. Stomped my way towards the office of my dipshit boss with furious intent, brushing off the waiter who restrained me seconds ago. Finding the door open, I'm greeted with Moe's disheveled clusterfuck of an office. I spot him sitting down at his desk, about to pour himself a glass of bourbon.
Hey, Trish, how you doing?
The jolly Tyrannosaurus bellowing from his chair.
Thank God it's Friday, eh?
Cut the shit, Moe. I interrupted his greeting, anger dripping from my words like venom. You had Anon here, in your restaurant, and you did nothing! My words have clearly taken Moe aback as he gives me this wide-eyed stare and blinks a couple of times before speaking.
Huh? Anon?
Moe clarifies as the cogs in his mostly empty skull turn, as he tries to comprehend my rant. Yes! Are you deaf? He was just here! Moe gazes at the ceiling with contemplation while letting out a sigh, then looks down at me a couple seconds later.
Damn. Guess the day really is busy, huh?
Moe lets out a shrug with his diminutive arms.
Anyways, you was ready for that job I was telling you about?
Did this senile old fossil listen to a single word I said? Anon is here, the skinny who ruined everything. Ruined worm drama. Ruined my school and killed Fang. Did you not hear me? My voice lets out a growl, barely concealing the rage that leaks from me. Anon is sitting in your fucking restaurant after everything he's done, and all you have to say is it's a busy day? Moe pinching the bridge of his snout, or at least attempts to, and lets out another sigh.
Look, Trish, everyone's allowed in my restaurant, as long as they don't mess with the business or just anyone trying to have a meal.
Moe looking at me with a stern look, as if I'm the one in the fucking wrong here.
I've been hoping to talk to you about that security job I was telling you about, since Lil Drew's been up ass over tits lately.
The Tyrannosaurus begins rambling with his typical New Yorker accent. I can't believe this. He doesn't give a shit at all. Wasn't Fang like a niece to him? They always talked about how cool of an uncle he was, and how because of him our band was able to get our first live audience. But now, he just wants to ignore everything that happened and let that fucking monkey who killed Fang just walk off scot-free. I'm gonna kill him, Moe. Just say the word. Moe retorts by rolling his eyes and letting his arms fall limp on his desk, making a small thud sound.
Trish, in the middle of my restaurant, out in the open, don't be stupid.
What fucking right does he have? You're the one who sent me after him, remember? I point a finger at him while my voice raises in volume. You sent me to kill him! Why not let me finish him? You wanted him dead!
I wanted Ripley off my fucking back!
Ripley? Fang's dead? Moe falls silent, but the stare he pierces me with says it all.
Don't be a fool, Trish. Be the bigger person. Quit your yapping.
As if I hadn't heard that shit from other people constantly. Why? I choked out, my voice barely containing my anger. Why are you so against it? He killed Fang, remember?
No, he didn't, Trish. Lucy got herself killed.
My fist clenches in response, not knowing to be madder at him, dead naming Fang, or the fact that he just said Fang killed themselves.
I met the kid, remember? I told him to be supportive to Lucy. Clearly, he wasn't.
The defeated Tyrannosaurus shrugged.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a stupid fucking kid, and he made a horrible, horrible mistake. But you can't deny he must be hurting too, just as much as you.
He's hurting? He's hurting? After all the times he ignored them? After all the times he misgendered them? How he fucked us all over at the concert? How the fuck is he hurting, Moe?
Because, Trish, he loved her. I know he did.
The rage inside me reaches a boiling point. I can't take this anymore. So did I, asshole! I shout at him, depriving my lungs of air. My words pierced Moe's stoic presence, switching to a look of stunned silence. I loved Fang, Moe. I struggled to speak, from being out of breath, from overwhelming emotion. I loved them ever since ninth grade. I loved their smile, their talent, their eyes. I wanted to tell them for the longest time how I felt about them. But I was scared. Scared someone as beautiful as them wouldn't think the same of me. Moe remains silent, but reaches for the glasses of bourbon on his desk and takes a slow sip. Right when I worked up the courage to finally confess how I felt and ask them out, Anon fucking shows up out of nowhere and ruins everything. The band, Fang, everything. Moe sets his glass down as he pushes himself away from his desk, looking at the ground with contemplation. That's why I'm gonna kill him, whether you like it or not, Moe. I lean over, placing both my hands on his desk.
No, you're not.
Moe replies as he rises from his chair, towering over me.
You know you're not even doing the dirtiest jobs around here. I don't think you want the ones who do paying you a visit, you feel me?
Moe growls at me. His piercing glare doesn't faze me at all. There's no reasoning with this pussy. Fang would be ashamed if they even called him an uncle. You know what? Screw you, Moe. I'm done. I turn away from him, stomping towards the door and place my hand on the handle, but before I can turn it, he calls out,
Trish, wait!
Why, asshole? Didn't you want me to leave?
This ain't what Lucy would have wanted.
I huff without even giving him a glance. Do I just forget everything? Pretend it all never happened? Like Fang never existed? And just let that skinny piece of shit live happily ever after? You don't know a fucking thing about what Fang would have wanted. I fling the door open as my ear holes fill with the ambience of the restaurant, drowning out whatever else Moe has to say, if he even has anything left to say. Walking down the hall of the lively restaurant, I take notice of the emergency exit being left open by a brick, allowing anyone to enter and exit without triggering the alarm. Wonderful. I don't feel like going out the main entrance and looking at any of those pompous fucks in the eye. Pushing open the door, I'm hit with a rather chilling breeze, as if the November wind is sweeping me into the night. I find myself in the alleyway behind Moe's, garbage bags scattered all around me, rats picking at the remains of a search of scraps. If this geezer could pay me to do... If this geezer could pay me to go do jobs for him, Why is buying a dumpster is out of the question. Whatever. I don't think I'm gonna find that ape here anytime soon, so I'll probably just go home, assuming Reed hasn't burned our apartment down. Exiting the alleyway, I enter the streets, ready to check out for the night. However, a pair of familiar voices pull me from my stupor.
Have you thought about talking to her how you feel? I can't. It would be, I just don't want to make her upset. Is what I'm trying to say. She's the only friend I have ever since.
I guess he doesn't leave after all. I quickly turn away to get some distance between me and the voices, taking cover behind the corner as I just emerged from moments ago. My eyes finally spot Anon on the bench, talking with Stella? That weird stego bitch from high school? She always was a fucking loser back then, so I can't say I'm surprised to see them together. I still remember that presentation she did about anime in sophomore year, and how most of the class got detention for laughing at her to the point where she left the room in tears. I mean, if you can't handle it, why act like a weirdo in the first place? My thoughts were interrupted when I see Stella get up from the bench, turning away from Anon. But before this crippled monkey of a man rises and starts saying something that caused her to turn around and... Wait. She's fucking hugging him? Ew. Why? Not trying to give myself away, I have to mentally fight the urge to gag at what I just saw. Wait. Did he just ask her out? What was previously disgust quickly turned into anger, spreaded through my body like an inferno. Was one fucking person not enough for him to ruin? Still, it's not like there's really much left to ruin in someone like Stella. But the two of them seem to be close. And I'm assuming they're close to Rosa too, since she was with them both when she stopped me. Fucking bitch. I'll have to keep an eye on her and Rosa, since Moe's useless to me now. These two could lead me to him. I'm coming for you, Skinny.
40 minutes later in Skin Row. God damn. Can't remember the last time I ate that well. Real food for a change, too. Now it passes for food, the freezer section at the dollar store. At this point, I'm feeling tempted to give Rosa a gift basket. Although, I think I see what Stella was talking about when she and I returned to the table. Rosa was not the most thrilled about it.
Don't disturb him. You left the table in a trance without a word. Not to mention how long you were gone. Something could have happened to you again.
Although, to be honest, I'm not exactly proud of what happened. I can't imagine it would put anyone's mind at ease to see the cripple friend waddle out of the bathroom while mumbling to himself like a schizo. I guess I can kind of see where Rose is coming from.
Anon, are you okay?
The sound of Rosa's call snapped me back to my senses. I found myself in the elevator, with Rosa and Stella waiting for me outside the door. Yeah, sorry, I reply as I quickly move out of my way out of the contraption before the door closes on me. Rosa lets out a chuckle, placing her hand on my shoulder.
It was great to see you again, Anon. I'm hoping we can find the time to meet up again sometime soon.
Yeah, sure, I'd be down for that again. I answer as a slight smile forms on my lips. Hey, Rosa, would it be okay if I had a moment alone with Anon? Hearing Stella's request, the ankylosaur turns to her with a surprised expression painted across her face with hints of hesitation. However, the smile returns to her face as she glances my way.
Por supuesto, Stella. I'll just be in the lobby waiting for you if that's okay.
Rosa affirmed, followed by a nod of Stella's head, prompting her to walk toward the stairwell.
Buenas noches, Anon. It was great to see you again.
The two of us wait as the footsteps grow quieter until it's followed by the sound of a door opening and closing. So what's the plan? Turn towards my Stegosaurus companion. Stella places a hand under her chin, or lower beak, in contemplation, the gears turning in her head. I was thinking maybe we could meet there around 1. Does that time work for you? 1 in the afternoon or 1 in the morning? Stella responds to what I assume was an inner thought with a deadpan look while stifling back a giggle. I'm kidding. One sounds great. I attempt to brush off my own tardiness. By the way, what's this boba place called? Oh, it's called Bubbly. Was she telling me the name of the spot or a dad joke? Although judging from her enthusiasm, I guess it's the latter. Awesome, looking forward to checking it out. I've never had boba before. My explanation caused Till's eyes to widen in shock. What? You've never tried it? Well, tomorrow we're changing that. Stella strongly affirms, bereft of the anxiety that plagued her earlier tonight. By the way, I've probably kept Rosa waiting long enough. I'm gonna go meet her downstairs, but I'll see you tomorrow, Anon, said Stella as she presents me with a warm smile before turning towards the elevator. Walking towards the elevator and pressing the down-facing button, the door opens before the cheerful stego almost immediately due to her previous use. After entering the elevator, Stella turns around and faces me with a flash and a peace sign. Bye, Anon. Stella says her goodbyes as the blush on her face grows the mixture of pink and green. I reply to her with a wave and a smile as the door closes and separates us both, leaving me alone in the halls of my derelict apartment. Walking back to my room in deafening silence, I begin to fixate on what I just got myself into. I'm meeting with Stella tomorrow, a girl that I'm friends with, for some boba, alone. My mind focuses on nothing except what I just agreed to. There's a big part of me that's nervous since the last time I hung out one-on-one with someone was when I was with Fang. Standing frozen outside my door, the gut-wrenching memory hits me like a train, reminiscing of the time we spent together, both inside and outside of school. And we found a piece of ourselves in each other, and all the times we could have spent together if I'd been a better person. But fuck, not now. I insert my key on the doorknob, trying to fixate on the inner workings of the contraption in order to distract myself from my own thoughts. My hand moves the bronze-colored device as it merges with the inner workings of the door.
You took me away from my friends. You ruined our band.
No. I turn the key as it responds with a rhythmic clicking, allowing me to open the door and greet me at the side of my own shitty room.
That would be too much of an honor for you.
Shut up. Entering my apartment, I immediately close and lock the door, and kick my shoes off and hobble towards my bed almost instinctually, directed by the grounding enthusiasm of how I ate enough pizza to put me in a diabetic coma. With better judgment, I would avoid going to sleep again, try and find ways to keep myself occupied, but this wasn't one of those times. Setting down my crutches while I try to balance on one foot, I flop onto the bed and begin to rest my eyes. It's funny to think that Rosa's couch is comfier than my bed. I guess it beats having no bed at all. Within minutes, I feel myself drifting off to sleep, along with the blur of emotions plaguing my mind. Just the general fear I have about my financial situation. Worrying about how much longer I can stay in this place by relying on government handouts. And of course, the guilt that still haunts me. How I could have handled things. And yet, buried under all that bullshit, there's a part of me that's excited to see Stella tomorrow. There's a lot I don't know about other than what kind of anime she likes, and of course, the whole tarot thing with her. Judging from the blush on the elevator, I guess she's excited too. But there's just one thing I don't know. She asked me to hang out, or is this a date? Does she? Do I? What the fuck? I get up from my bed, startled by the sudden bang noise that woke me up. Scan my room, everything seemed to be in place. Nothing missing or broken. Just a shitty, messy apartment.
Did I really mean anything to you at all, Anon?
A feminine voice calls from my left. That voice. No. I turn to investigate the intruder, and my suspicions are confirmed when I see none other than Fang sitting in my desk chair, leering at me with scorn. Her eyes full of disgust. Fang,
Shut the fuck up, dweeb. I've already heard enough of your bullshit when I was alive.
Fang brushes me off with her hand as the scowl on her face grows.
Not to mention how much you let me suffer, and how you couldn't even save me.
I rise from bed, positioning myself close to the specter of my former girlfriend. No, Fang, I didn't mean for anything to happen. I fucked everything up. I'm so sorry. Fang's eyes glow with anger in response to my apology.
Don't give me that bullshit. I know for a fact you're not actually sorry.
Fang growls at me as she rises from the desk chair, looming over me.
You were concerned over your precious Xbox controller than you were about me after I had the worst night of my life, remember?
She's right. I was selfish, apathetic, and worst of all, a coward. And I still am those things. A new voice emerged from my right. I turned to see Naomi, standing in the hallway of the kitchen, staring at me with the aura of hate that rivals Fang's.
The fact that you're moving on so quickly after meeting with Rosa and Stella just proves how little you gave a fuck about Fang.
Naomi stomps her foot as she grows red with anger.
You really think making new friends will absolve you of your sins?
Fang responds with a chuckle as her scowl turns to a rather sadistic-looking sneer.
For once, I agree with this cunt. Since you're going on a date with one of them tomorrow, tell me, Anon, are you going to treat Stella as horribly as you treated me?
Fuck, this is all too much. This isn't a date, is it?
Wow. I always knew you were a fucking loser. But I didn't think it was this bad.
A new voice enters the room, this one sounding far more masculine. I look back towards the hallway and see Naser moving past Naomi with a smug look.
Skinny legs and his own filth like a pig. Why am I not surprised?
Naser chuckles, gazes around the room with judging eyes.
He lives in his own garbage and treats people like garbage. And what do you know? He's garbage himself.
Shut up. They would never say this, would they?
You plan on taking Stella over our friends and families who could ruin her life too.
No matter how much you pretend, you will always be a piece of shit. Should've just left you to ride alone.
I made a mistake aiming for your leg. I should have aimed for your stomach.
The voices began to rapidly overlap each other, making it increasingly difficult to tell which words were coming out of the mouths of my tormentors. As they continued to taunt me, berate me, shame me, it's gotten to the point where their jeers have become incomprehensible, sounding more like white noise than actual words, all before completely devolving into laughter. Despite any lack of coherent speech, their presence still stabs at my heart all the same, their taunts overwhelming my mind like a storm, breaking any steady thought and emotions inside until I notice as his chest begins to ooze with dark crimson, progressively staining his jacket. No, fuck, no, not again! Naomi's face begins to pour with blood, adding new streaks of red to her already naturally peach-colored hair. I can feel my heart drop and my face turning white as I see my former friends turn to corpses before my eyes as their laughter grows alarmingly deranged. And just when I thought it couldn't get any worse, I turn back to my desk chair and I see Fang. Oh my god. The feathers begin to drop from her wings like flies, to the point her wings are completely bare, her otherwise monochrome appearance now paired with a new shade of pink. Out of all the voices, Fang's laughter unsettles me the most. A flurry of emotions evident from her facial expression, sadism, hate, grief, rage. The sight of terrorizes me and breaks my heart at the same time. However, what I saw next only struck me with more fear into my heart. As my former girlfriend's laugh became more frenzied, the more damaged her appearance became. Bruises began to grow on her body almost instantly, her scales becoming more and more discolored, until I take notice of her amber eyes. Her amber eyes began to leak with tears of blood. The grotesque sight caused me to hyperventilate frantically as I watched my friends around me turn into corpses puppeted by my own hysteria. Every urge in my body is telling me to hide, but I don't deserve to hide. I did this to them. They have every right to punish me. No. I snapped out of my shell shock as I noticed Fang raise her claw, and she roars with anger.
That would be too much of an honor for you.
Fang screeches at me with immense fury before striking me across the face. Instinctually, I close my eyes, but nothing happens. I open my eyes to see the bodies of my former friends are nowhere to be found, scanning across the apartment frantically as I rise from my bed. I begin to shudder with horror as I recall what I just witnessed moments ago. My horror quickly bubbles into anger, but not at my situation, or the revenants that haunt my dreams. I'm angry at myself. I fucked up everything. I begin to fall back asleep as I pant with uncontrollable fury. Fuck! I cry out in anger, slamming my fist against the mattress. Am I doomed to be nothing more than this pathetic, uncaring, horrible person? And what if they're right? What if I hurt Stella and Rosa the same way I hurt them? I can't let that happen again.